Hi, Ricky. We're on.
We're on.
Yeah.
All right, what are we talking about here?
Well, you know, we had a conversation earlier today about, well, really, I wanted to know, like, when you first met Bruce.
Yeah.
And the circumstances and, you know, what it was like. So, do you recall the actual first time?
Let me dwell on that for a moment. The first time I actually had a conversation with him, I got to say it was probably down Robbie Ruseal's basement on Chelsea Avenue in Long Branch, and I would have to say 1968. And it was probably the winter of 1968 because I remember he had I think a fringe suede jacket on. I mean, he had a coat on. It wasn't summertime.
And he was in the Castiles at the time?
No, he was in probably the band Earth, which was a three-piece band consisting of him. Sometimes Bobby Alfano played keyboards in that band, but it was basically a three-piece power trio.
But you knew him prior,
I knew
from
him
being
from
in the
Castiles. I wasn't friends with him. I never had a friendly conversation with him at that time, but he used to play as a member of the Castiles for our fraternity dances. I was in a high school fraternity, Beta Phi Alpha, which was a local fraternity made up of guys from Long Branch High School, Ocean Township High School, Asbury High School. It was a chartered, chaptered fraternity.
Right.
We had jackets and everything. We used to have dances. We used to hold our dances at the Surf and Sea Club in Seabright, which to me was the most exciting and coolest place around. It fucking, in my opinion, Upstage couldn't hold a candle to it. There were no girls at Upstage. Surf and Sea used to attract people from Rumson, Seabright, Middletown, Long Branch, Asbury. Everybody used to go to Surf and Sea to hear bands like the Motifs, the Castiles, my band, the Music Journey, the Mods, all the good bands. Steve Van Zant's bands used to play there. It was a place to go. It was right next door to Traywinds Beach Club. Anyway, we used to hire the Castiles to play at our fraternity dances because they were a great band. But it was George Theis's band. Bruce was a sideline. But everybody knew that as soon as they saw Bruce and as he started to come out of himself and feel comfortable on stage, everybody knew he was the person in that band to watch.
And you first really got to know him when he came to your band's rehearsals.
Yeah, that's when I think I actually started having a conversation with the guy. I mean, prior to that, I knew him. He may have seen me. I used to be in the Cherubs, which was a local Long Branch band. It was pretty popular. We used to play at the Hullabaloo Club in Freehold. I'm sure Bruce, you know, we used to go out and check bands out, see what the competition was. You know, we were always out there finding out who was doing what our peers were doing, what the competition was up to, and Bruce was probably doing the same thing at the time. The thing is he lived right around the corner from the Hullabaloo Club. It was on the other side of the railroad tracks in Freehold, where the muster zone is, sort of where the Mexicans gathered now. It was in that area where the old railroad train station is. There was a Hullabaloo Club in Asbury also, but that I think opened a couple of years after this one. So, I mean, he may have known me from those days, just from being in bands. We used to play at the West End Casino all the time, which was a great place. In fact, the Castiles played at the West End Casino, which was a beach club. It was a beach club, and they had a series of weekend concerts for a couple of years over there. And I was only like 15 at the time. But the guy that used to run, I think the guy's name was Rennie Jessel, that used to run the concerts over there. And they'd hired bands there was a band from Freehold called the Motifs, who, in my opinion, the Motifs was like the coolest band around. They were cool. They were like this like dirty, like Rolling Stone type greasy. They were an enigma, but they were cool. They were the first band I knew that had a single record that everybody really liked. It was called Molly, and it was a pretty popular song. Anyway, they used to play at the Surf and Sea. They used to play at the West End Casino